So, your dryer's flashing a TS or TC error code. You're probably staring at it thinking, what in the world does that even mean? Well, whatever you do, don't just ignore it. In this quick explainer, we're going to break down what these codes are really telling you, and more importantly, how to fix the dangerous problem they're pointing to.
It's so frustrating, right? Your dryer either won't start or maybe it tumbles but there's no heat and you're just left with a big old pile of wet clothes. The machine is trying to tell you something is wrong, but what is it?
Okay, let's get one thing straight right away. This is not just some random glitch or a problem with the door latch. A TS or TC code is a critical safety alert. It means your dryer has intentionally shut itself down to prevent a really dangerous situation.
So what's the deal with thermal safety device fault? It sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. It means a vital safety part, either a thermal fuse or a thermostat, did its job and blew itself out on purpose. Why? Because the temperature inside your dryer got way too high, and the safety system stepped in and cut the power.
And listen, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. You have to figure out why that part blew. Just slapping a new fuse in there without fixing the real problem, that's exactly like yanking the batteries out of a smoke alarm because the beeping is annoying. You're not fixing anything, you're just ignoring a massive warning and creating a serious fire risk.
Alright, so our first step is to put on our detective hats. We need to find these little safety devices inside your dryer, and they usually hang out in a few predictable spots.
You'll probably need to pull the dryer away from the wall and take off the back panel to get a good look. You're searching for these small parts mounted right on the blower housing, that's the fan that pushes the air out, or on the heater housing in an electric dryer, or sometimes right on the exhaust duct itself.
And here they are, our usual suspects. That TS code, it's usually pointing its finger at the thermal fuse, which looks like a little white ceramic rectangle. The TC code often means one of the thermostats is the problem. They look like small silver discs with a couple of wires. Now, the most important thing to know is that when they're working properly, they should all be closed, which just means electricity can flow right through them.
Now, to find our bad guy, we're going to use a simple tool called a multimeter to check for what's called continuity. And don't worry, this sounds way more technical than it actually is. We're really just checking to see if the path for electricity inside the part is still connected or if it's broken.
The process is really straightforward, and it's perfectly safe as long as you follow these steps. First, and I cannot say this enough, unplug the dryer from the wall. Seriously, no shortcuts. Then, for each little component you test, just pull one of the wires off. Set your multimeter to the ohms setting, it looks like a little horseshoe symbol, and just touch the metal probes to the two terminals on the part.
So what are you looking for on that little screen? It's super simple. A good part will read 0 ohms or something very close to it, and your meter might even beep. That means it has continuity. The path is good. A blown part, our culprit, is going to read OL, which stands for open loop. That's it. The path is broken, and you've found your problem.
Okay, great. You found the broken piece. But hold on, we are not done. Not even close. Now comes the most critical part of this whole investigation, finding out why it failed to begin with.
And this chart right here, it basically solves the mystery for us. I mean, just look at that. A clogged dryer vent is the cause a whopping 70% of the time. Yeah, other things can cause it, but poor airflow is the undisputed heavyweight champion of dryer problems.
In fact, when you put it all together, something like 90% of these thermal failures are caused by one thing: restricted airflow. The dryer is doing its job making heat, but it just can't breathe. It can't push that hot, moist air out, so the temperature skyrockets and poof. The safety fuse does exactly what it was designed to do. This really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? That tiny component costs, what, maybe $5? But its whole job is to prevent an absolute catastrophe. It is literally your last line of defense against a house fire starting in your laundry room. Okay, so let's get to the real fix. We're not just going to slap a bandage on this. We're going to solve the root cause so this never, ever happens again. And that means it's time for a thorough cleaning of the entire ventilation system.
And when I say the entire system, I mean it. Disconnect that flexible hose and clean everything from the back of the dryer all the way to the outside of your house. Get one of those special vent brush kits to snake through the ductwork in the wall. You'll be shocked and maybe a little horrified at what comes out of there. And don't forget to check the little flapper on the vent outside. It can get stuck with lint or even have a bird's nest in it.
Now, only after you've completely cleaned that vent and you know the airflow problem is solved, then you can replace the blown part. And when you do, it is essential that you use a replacement with the exact same temperature rating stamped on it.
don't guess. Using the wrong one could completely defeat the safety feature. Also, make sure it's mounted tightly against clean metal so it can sense the temperature correctly.
And to keep this from ever being an issue again, here's a super simple schedule. We all know to clean the lint filter after every single load, right? We'll just add 2 more things. About twice a year, pull the dryer out just to make sure the hose isn't crushed or disconnected. And once a year, make that deep vent cleaning we talked about part of your regular home maintenance.
So it all comes down to this, doesn't it? That error code isn't just an annoyance, it's a critical warning. It's your dryer literally asking for help before a small problem turns into a huge danger. A few minutes of prevention is all it takes to keep your home and everyone in it safe. Thanks for tuning in.